You've been lied to your whole life. They told you she's the prize, not you, not your teachers, not your parents, and definitely not the women who walked away after you gave them everything ever warned you about this. Most men grow up believing they must earn love, as if love is something handed out to those who prove themselves worthy enough. So they chase, they text first, overthink every word, cancel their own plans just to be available. They pour out their hearts, hoping she'll finally see their value. But here's the harsh truth. That behavior doesn't build attraction, it quietly kills it. Right now, there's a man watching this who feels her slipping away. So he tries harder. He gets softer, more emotional, more desperate. And with every attempt to pull her closer, she drifts further away. That's not weakness. That's programming. No one ever taught him the real rules of power in relationships, rules that demand strength, not submission. Stoicism teaches those rules. It shows you how to reclaim your energy, stop reacting, and become the man she craves, not the man she merely tolerates. Tell me your name, where you're from, and what challenge you're facing in your relationship. Drop it in the comments. And now, let's begin. Number 1, stop chasing. Start choosing. Let's be honest. Most men are raised to chase women as if she is the ultimate prize. They grow up believing that winning her attention is proof of their worth, and losing her means they have failed. That belief quietly ruins them. You see it everywhere: texting too often, explaining too much, tolerating disrespect just to keep her around. It turns strong men into approval seekers. Take Daniel, 43, from Seattle. Recently, out of a long relationship, he meets Sophia, 39, a stunning, confident architect. They click immediately, and Daniel thinks he's lucky just to have her interest. So he dives in, constant text, surprise gifts, clearing his schedule for her, even when his business is drowning in deadlines. He tells himself, if I just do more, she'll stay. At first, Sophia enjoys the attention. Then her replies slow down. She cancels plans. Daniel feels it slipping. But instead of stepping back, he doubles down: more affection, more chasing, until one day, she disappears completely. Here's the truth. Daniel didn't lose Sophia because he wasn't good enough. He lost her because he gave up his position as a chooser and became a chaser. When you chase, you send one loud message: you are above me. I need you to complete me. Nothing kills attraction faster than that. Stoicism flips this script. It teaches you to return to yourself, to guard your time, energy, and attention as sacred. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions." If your only ambition is to keep her, not to lead yourself, you've already lost. Choosing doesn't mean being cold. It means being clear. Clear about what you want. Clear about what you will accept. Instead of asking, how can I get her to like me? Ask, do I even like her? Does she bring peace or chaos to my life? High-value men know this. They don't chase. They attract with clarity, presence, and purpose. Let her wonder where she stands, because power lives in that space. Comment below. I choose now. Number 2, attention is not love. Let's clear up one of the biggest traps men fall into. Just because she's texting you, liking your photos, or laughing at your jokes, doesn't mean she loves you. It doesn't even mean she truly cares. Attention is cheap. Love is rare. Most men confuse the two, especially when they've been feeling overlooked or lonely. That tiny hit of attention feels like sunlight after weeks of darkness. So they cling to it. They build stories around it. They convince themselves it's a green light, proof that she's invested. But here's the truth. Attention can come from boredom, a bit, validation seeking, or even guilt. Love doesn't grow in those places. Attention feeds your ego. Love feeds your soul. They are not the same fuel. Stoic philosophy reminds us not to trust surface impressions. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. It's not her attention that has power. It's the meaning you attach to it. You assign value. You create expectations. And when she disappears or shifts her energy, it feels like betrayal. But really, you betrayed yourself by mistaking a spark for a fire." Here's what happens when you chase attention. You give her your mental space. You keep checking your phone, waiting for replies, analyzing her silence. You stop living. You become reactive, uncertain, dependent, and that's where attraction quietly dies. A man rooted in Stoic principles measures connection differently, not by how often she pings him, but by how consistently her actions match her words and whether her presence brings peace instead of chaos. Here's your mindset shift. Love shows up consistently, quietly, and with depth. Attention is flashy, inconsistent, and often selfish. If she disappears for days, then reappears with a flirty, "Hey, stranger," that's not love. That's bait. If she only engages when she's bored or lonely, that's not devotion. That's convenience. Ask yourself, is she showing up because she values me? Or because she values how I make her feel for a moment? You are not here to entertain. You are here to build something real. Real doesn't come wrapped in crumbs of praise. And this isn't just emotional, it's neurological. Your brain craves the dopamine from her attention. Like any drug, you build tolerance. You want more, and when it doesn't come, you start chasing. That craving isn't love. It's dependency dressed as desire. So test her presence. Question the pattern. Is this nourishment or noise? Because when someone truly values you, their energy is steady. Their words align with actions. Especially when things get hard. Stop being impressed by breadcrumbs. Start expecting substance. Comment below, "I see clearly." Number 3. Power shifts when you beg. There's a moment most men don't even notice when it happens. The exact moment the power in a relationship flips. It's when you stop leading and start begging. At first, it doesn't look dramatic. You tell yourself you're just showing effort. But underneath, something vital is breaking. Begging is not connection. It's the surrender of your center. Let me paint you a picture. David, 46, runs a successful design firm. After his divorce, he started seeing Clara, 41, for 6 months. Things were steady. She admired his drive, his calm, his confidence. Then slowly, She pulled back, less affectionate, less present, less invested. David panicked. He wrote long, heartfelt texts. He asked what was wrong. He cancelled plans to be more available. He promised to change. He begged for reassurance. And each time he begged, something invisible shifted. Clara's respect faded. Her attraction dissolved. Because here's the hard truth. Desire does not respond to desperation. Respect does not survive begging. In David's mind, he was fighting for love. In Clara's eyes, it was pressure, and pressure is the opposite of power. The more he begged, the more she retreated until one day she said, "I just don't feel the same anymore." The Stoics warned about this. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." And begging is not brave. Begging is fear in motion, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of not being chosen. Fear pushes you out of your masculine center. Begging hands her the keys to your value. It puts her on the throne and puts you beneath it. Stoicism teaches the opposite. Detach from outcomes. Control what is yours, your words, your actions, your boundaries. Release the rest. Begging tries to force what should flow naturally. It's clinging to what's slipping away. Here's the better path. Notice when you feel the urge to beg. When she pulls away, resist closing the gap. Hold your frame. Give space. Not as a tactic, as a truth. If she wants to leave, let her. The man who doesn't beg is the man she wonders about. He's the one she reconsiders, not because he played games, but because he showed dignity, he showed self-respect. And if she comes back, it must be on equal ground, not with you on your knees. Remember, begging often hinders. It shows up as over-explaining, over-apologizing, or excusing her bad behavior just to keep her. That's not love. That's fear. And fear kills attraction. So do the opposite. If she pulls away, expand. Lean into your mission. Reclaim your center. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. You don't need to fix her. You don't need to convince her. Stay grounded. Let her sit in the silence you didn't fill. Comment below, I won't beg. Number 4. Emotional control shocks her. Most men underestimate this, how powerful it is to remain calm when she's trying to shake you. When she gets emotional, dramatic, or starts testing your limits and you don't flinch, it hits her deeper than anything you could say. Not because you're cold, but because you're centered. You're not reacting. You're responding. The Stoics understood this long ago. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's not just philosophy. That's dominance at its purest level. Most men think dominance means being loud, forceful, or alpha. But real dominance is quiet. It's still. It's emotional control. And when you embody that, she doesn't know how to respond because she's used to men riding her emotional roller coaster. She's used to her mood setting the tone. But when you refuse to ride that wave, you stand out. You stop being predictable. You stop being easy to manipulate. And deep down, she respects it, even if she tests harder. Control doesn't mean ignoring her. It means you don't absorb her chaos. You listen. You hold your ground. You speak less. You choose your words. You don't argue to win. You lead by calming the storm. And this is where the shock hits her. When you stay calm, you break the script she expects. You're not the man who crumbles under pressure. You're not the man who raises his voice because she raised hers. You're the man who looks her in the eye, breathes, and says, "I'm not here to fight. I'm here to build." Then you walk away. If it leads nowhere, that moment lingers in her mind, because self-control is rare, and rare is valuable. Stoicism isn't about suppressing your emotions. It's about mastering them. Emotional men chase. They panic. They break their boundaries. Stoic men feel but move with reason. Reason is magnetic, and that calm presence makes her feel safe. So if she tries to provoke you, let silence be your power play. Not to punish, but to protect your peace. Comment below, "I choose calm." Number 5, she tests to find a leader. Women don't test you because they're cruel. They test you because they want to feel safe. Safety doesn't come from compliments, soft words, or endless agreement. It comes from strength, from leadership, from knowing you won't get knocked off center when things get hard. Her tests aren't about your words. They're about your stability under pressure. Do you fold? Do you chase, or do you lead? Let's make it real. Ethan, 43, lives in Austin. He's divorced, runs a small architecture firm, and recently started dating again after 5 years alone. He met Sophia, 39, confident, sharp, magnetic. For the first 2 months, things felt effortless. Then the shift came. She arrived late to dinners. She cancelled plans last minute. She made sarcastic comments just to see if he'd snap. Ethan thought he was doing something wrong. He wasn't. He was being tested. Sophia didn't want to hurt him. She wanted to see if he could hold his frame. Once Ethan understood this, he stopped reacting. He stopped trying to fix things. He started leading. He calmly called things out. He set boundaries without drama. No lectures, just quiet firmness. And everything changed. Sophia's respect returned almost overnight because she never wanted control. She wanted to feel a man's direction. Stoic philosophy teaches the same truth. Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Men waste time overthinking her words instead of leading with action. They over-apologize. They tiptoe like they're walking on eggshells. But leadership doesn't grow in anxiety. It grows in conviction. When she pushes, she's searching for structure. She wants to know your world won't collapse just because she challenges your decisions. If you flinch every time she gets emotional, you're not leading. You're following her feelings. And she already has feelings. What she craves is your frame. Leadership doesn't mean you dominate her. It means you direct energy. You create clarity. We're going this way. Not, please like me. Say no when it's needed. Say yes with strength. Build something real. And understand this, the more you pass her tests, the deeper she'll trust you. Not because she wants to control, but because consistency builds security, and that security lets her rest in her femininity. Leadership isn't a performance. It's who you are when no one's watching. Comment below, "I lead." Number 6, you are the prize. Most men forget this one truth the moment they feel attraction. They flip the switch. They stop being the mountain. They become the beggar. They start chasing. They start proving. They bend. They shrink. And they lose their center. And in doing so, they lose the very energy that made her drawn to them in the first place. But here's the reality. You are the prize, not because you say it, not because you fake confidence, but because you've built yourself into a man of depth, substance, and direction. When a man knows he's the prize, he moves differently. He doesn't try to impress, he expresses. He doesn't seek attention. He commands presence. He doesn't try to hold on to her. He holds on to himself. And women feel that not through logic, but instinct. They sense the inner stillness, the quiet confidence, the grounded energy that says, I'm already fulfilled. You're welcome to join me. But I'm not empty without you. Marcus Aurelius once said, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If your thoughts revolve around keeping her, fearing loss, or winning her back, you've already abandoned yourself. And when you abandon yourself, the relationship begins to die. High-value women don't want men who orbit around them. They want men who stand in their own light. Only then can they respect you. Only then can they relax into your leadership. When you place her on a pedestal, she has no choice but to look down. But when you see yourself as the prize, you invite her into your world instead of abandoning yours to enter hers. This isn't about ego. It's about knowing your worth. Knowing that your time, your peace, and your focus are sacred, and not everyone gets access to that. The moment you treat her like she's the sole source of meaning or love in your life, you give away your grounding. You hand her power she didn't ask for, and she will lose attraction not because she's ungrateful, but because she senses you've forgotten who you are. Women don't fall for men who beg. They fall for men who walk in purpose, men who live in stillness, men who radiate presence. When you are the prize, you don't panic when she pulls away. You don't scramble to fix things when they feel off. You hold the frame. You stay rooted. That doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't collapse. There is nothing more magnetic than a man who knows what he brings to the table and doesn't need to prove it. A man who sees his mission as bigger than validation. A man who can walk away, not out of spite, but out of principle. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If your self-worth depends on how she treats you, you're not leading. You're leaking power. Being the prize doesn't mean you're always chosen. It means you know how to walk away when you're not. That detachment isn't cold. It's commanding. It says, I value myself enough not to chase what isn't choosing me fully. So remember this. If you gave everything and she still drifted, maybe it's because you gave away your center first. Hold the frame. Be the prize. Comment below, I bring the value. Number 7, masculine silence breaks. Most men underestimate one of the most powerful forces they possess, masculine silence. Not the kind born from passive aggression or childish games, but the silence of stillness, of grounded presence, the kind that speaks louder than any words ever could. Let me show you. Daniel, 44, divorced, 2 kids, living in Denver. After a year with Olivia, 39. He felt the shift. Her tone cooled. Her replies got shorter. Her warmth faded. And then she started pulling away. Daniel had two choices: panic and chase her energy, or pause and hold his frame. He chose silence, not from bitterness, but from strength. He stopped over-explaining, stopped asking, "Are you okay?" Stopped trying to force feelings she wasn't showing. By the third day, her curiosity cracked. "Are you all right?" Then came the guilt. Then the questions. Then the pull. That's the power of masculine silence. It doesn't beg. It doesn't explain. It doesn't tolerate disrespect. It simply removes its presence, and that absence echoes louder than noise. A woman used to emotional reactions doesn't know how to handle stillness. She expects chasing, debating, pleading. When it doesn't come, she feels a vacuum. That vacuum forces reflection, and it either draws her back or exposes that she was never truly there. In a world where most men overshare and overreact, the man who speaks little but means every word becomes a mystery, and mystery is magnetic. Silence is not a tactic. It's a reflection of emotional control. It says, "I'm not here to perform for your validation. I'm here to see what's real and act with clarity." Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Silence is your proof, not to her, but to yourself, that you can observe, not react, that you can lead, even in absence." It's uncomfortable, but it's necessary, because silence is not weakness. It's maturity. If she meets you there, good. If she doesn't, you've still won, because you didn't abandon your center to hold her attention. Comment below, "I stayed silent." Number 8, never overinvest first. Most men sabotage themselves before the connection even begins. They meet a woman who excites them and immediately go all in. Time, energy, emotions. They pour it out like an open faucet before she's even shown real interest. And deep down, they tell themselves it's love. But it's not. It's fear. They think they must prove they are worthy, that their value only becomes real once she validates it. But that mindset kills your frame before anything starts. Because when you overinvest too soon, you flip the power dynamic. She becomes the prize, and you become the applicant. And whether she admits it or not, she feels that shift. You text more, plan more, try more, while she contributes less, replies slower, and starts doing the bare minimum. You think you're being romantic, but what you're really doing is performing, hoping to be chosen. That's dangerous, because when a man invests before he's evaluated, he places his self-worth in her hands. That energy bleeds into everything you do. It reeks of desperation, even when you don't say it out loud. Real value doesn't chase. It attracts. When you know who you are and what you bring, you wait to see if she's worth your investment, not the other way around. This doesn't mean playing games or acting cold. It means staying measured and grounded. You mirror her investment. You let things unfold naturally. If she texts, you reply. If she plans, you show up. But you don't rush to fill every gap or prove you're the best man she'll ever meet. That energy is exhausting, and it never works. Stoic philosophy teaches, control what you can, release what you can't. Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In love, this means not needing constant reciprocation to feel secure. It means knowing your presence, your peace, and your purpose already make you valuable, and letting her reveal if she sees it too. Overinvesting blinds you. You become so focused on keeping her that you forget to evaluate her. Is she kind, consistent, emotionally available? You won't know because you're too busy trying to impress. When you stop overgiving, something shifts. You see who truly shows up. You gain what most men never find: emotional control. Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If your thoughts are desperate, your soul moves desperately. But if they are grounded, your soul moves with grace. Take your time. Match her energy. Let the investment be mutual, not one-sided. Comment below. I wait to invest. Number 9, women feel energy, not excuses. Women don't fall for words. They fall for the energy behind them. You can apologize. You can explain. You can promise her the world. But if your energy is shaky, anxious, or desperate, she will feel it before you finish your sentence. That's why so many men get confused. They say the right things, yet she still pulls away. It's not because of what you said. It's because of what she felt. Women, especially emotionally attuned women, are wired to sense tone, tension, hesitation, and weakness. Things men rarely notice in themselves. She might not call it out, but she will withdraw, test you harder, or silently lose trust. Look at Ryan. He's 45, divorced, and successful. He met Claire, 38, and things started well. But as soon as she pulled back, he panicked. He began texting more, over-explaining, telling her how much he liked her and feared losing her. His words sounded honest, but his energy screamed neediness, and Claire could feel it. That's the hidden truth most men avoid. You can't fake masculine energy. You either show up calm, grounded, and certain, or you don't. Women don't respond to logic. They respond to presence. Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. That isn't just philosophy. It's the rule of connection. If your emotions rise and fall with her reactions, she knows you've lost your center. And let's be clear, this isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about owning them. You can be hurt and still steady, disappointed and still strong. That emotional integrity is what she trusts. Excuses, even valid ones, fall flat when the energy behind them is guilt or fear. Saying I was busy with guilt doesn't calm her. It confuses her. Saying I didn't know what to say with shaky energy doesn't reconnect her. It repels her. So pause. Stop reacting. Sit with the tension instead of rushing to fix it. Breathe. Lead with stillness. Ask yourself, am I trying to soothe her? Or my fear of rejection? The more you stay composed, the more she respects your boundaries. And when you finally speak, your words land because they're anchored in clarity, not anxiety. not perfection, not promises. Power, calm, unapologetic power. Comment below, I lead with presence. Number 10. High-value men. Detach first. High-value men know something most men refuse to accept when the energy shifts. They detach first. They don't wait for her to walk away. They don't beg for one more chance. They don't cling, hoping affection will return if they just prove their worth. They recognize the moment and they let go. This isn't coldness. It's clarity. Average men hold on out of fear. Exceptional men step back out of principle. They see that worth built on someone else's behavior is fragile. So they cut the thread. Quietly, decisively. Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Apply that here. If staying with her means betraying your own standards, it isn't right. If holding on requires shrinking who you are, it isn't true. High-value men see this sooner than most. They understand peace of mind is more valuable than clinging to something that's already fading. Because if you don't detach, you send a message. My identity depends on her choices, and she will feel that weight, what you call devotion, she experiences as pressure. That's why many men lose twice. First, they lose themselves. Then, they lose the relationship. But when you detach first, everything shifts. The energy flips. She senses your independence, that your center stands on something larger than her, and whether she comes back or not, she can't forget the man who didn't beg. True strength doesn't wait. It moves forward with or without applause. Detachment also clears illusions. You stop clinging to what could be and start looking at what is it. Is she consistent, supportive, present? If not, detachment cuts through the fog. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That is what detachment is, self-mastery in motion. It means saying, "I feel this. I wanted this. But I don't need this." That freedom is rare, and rare is magnetic. Here's what most men overlook. Detachment isn't the absence of care. You can love deeply and still walk away. You can want her and still release her. High-value men accept both truths. They don't numb themselves. They lead themselves. Women know the difference. They can feel when a man stays out of fear and when he leaves out of strength. So ask yourself, are you holding on because it's real or because you're afraid to let go? Comment below. I choose strength. Here's the truth. Brother, power in relationships isn't about controlling anyone. It's about clarity. It's about knowing your worth, standing tall in your frame, and never shrinking just to be tolerated. Men who forget this get drained. Men who live it get respected. So take this message with you. Choose strength over fear, presence over desperation, and let your life speak louder than your words. If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel so you never miss what's coming next, and share this with a man who needs the reminder. Thanks for watching. Brothers, stay focused, stay grounded, and remember, your power begins the moment you stop asking for permission to be who you are.